Hey everyone, welcome to another $1,000 strap search. I've got my $1,000 in singles here and I'm about to show you what I found. But before I do, let's talk about this week's tip. Now, when it comes to collecting, whether it be coins or currency or baseball cards or anything, there is a difference between gambling and making an educated guess. It's one thing to take a chance on a note, but when you're going to take a chance on a note, if there is anything you can do, i.e. research or anything else like that, to improve your chances of buying something successfully, that is when you're taking an educated guess. That's when you're doing something that you can control. For instance, if you see a note and you are unsure about certain things of the note, you can get advice on learning how to grade notes and then compare the grade of that note to what you had found out and take a chance to see if the note actually grades as high as you thought it was. That's not necessarily gambling. That's an educated guess. However, if you buy a random pack of anything hoping something good is in there, well, that's a gamble. So yeah, when it comes to my collection, I much prefer buying a note that I think might be undervalued versus just the blind shot in the dark. And why do I bring that up? Well, you're going to see later with the note that I have. All right. Before we get into that, though, let's take a look at the $1,000. Got those, get these out of the way, and let's see what I found this week. Starting off, looking at this note, see the year? Yeah, I thought that was interesting. Then I looked a little closer, and, well, it turns out that there's actually a drop of paint right here. It's not it's not a printing error of any kind. It simply has a drop of paint that kind of matches. I mean, when you look at it clearly, it's there, and I could probably bend the note and pop that whole thing right off. I thought it was neat. I pulled it. It's going back in circulation, but I figured I'd show it. Here's a Where's George note. I will log the note and then get this back out in the circulation. Found another Where's George. This is a very familiar stamp to me, so that one will also get logged and get sent back out. And this one, they stamped it upside down, tracked at www.where'sgeorge.com. Just a reminder to you guys, you don't need a stamp. You can write Where's George on any note and log it and spend it. That's all you need to do. And that makes you part of the Where's George community. So you don't even have to spend any money on a stamp. Let's see. Here is a birthday note, 07/06/2008. So that's July 6th, 2008. Or if you want to twist your eyes a little bit, it's the 7th of June, 2008. It's properly, though, July 6th, 2008. Let's see. Here's another birthday note in the wrong order, 2011, January 9th. So yeah, if this was my birthday, I'd be excited to have found it, but I wouldn't go out spending any money on it because it is in the wrong order. Found some trinaries, 5s, 7s, and 8s, and no, there's no value on trinaries. I save them trying to match pairs. Even on the matched pairs, I'm not even sure if there'd be any value. But that doesn't change the fact that I find it fun to pull trinaries and see if I can match them. You don't have to do everything for a profit. Sometimes you can do stuff for fun. Another trinary here, 0s, 7s, and 8s. Here's quads, quad 0s on this one, quad 0s again, quad 2s, and my stars. Always check your stars, looking to see if they're filled. 2017A, 2017A, 2017A. I will check all of these to see if they're rare. 2017A, it's got quad 2s, still not worth anything. 2017, another 2017, another 2017. 2013B, is it one of the duplicate star notes? Well, in order to be a duplicate star note, the serial number has to be 250,000 or less, and that would be 00250000 or less. Or it has to be between 032, that would be 3.2 million, to 096, which is 9.6 million. Just remember, all stars are printed in runs generally of 3.2 million. So they went 3 full print runs with the duplicate series. That's where you get the 3.2 million to 9.6 million as far as duplicates go. That's a lot. People want to pay up for them. I don't know why. All right, older notes. 2003A. That one's actually okay. 2003A is okay as well. This 2003 is rough. 2003A also rough. And another one, so you can still find these. I pull these because they're over 20 years old. Rough shape, I'll only keep the ones that are in better shape. I've got quite a few of them now. 2003A, 2003, these are a little tougher to find. 2001, also a fairly short printed note. 1999, 1995, not a web note, not backplate 295 for those of you who are wondering. This one, an I note from 1995, that's pretty cool. 1988A, also not a web note. 1981 was the oldest note I found, and yes, I did manage to pull something sleeve worthy. It does have this little rust section here. It looks like it was paper clipped, but look at the serial number, 81128112. That's a repeater. Repeaters and radars, they go for about 20-30 bucks a piece. This one isn't in the greatest of condition, but I found it in circulation, so if it's worth anything over face value, that's a profit. So that was kind of cool. All right, so what did I pull this week? Well, a lot of you have heard about this one and have been waiting for this video, so here we go. My friend Ryan sent me this. This is a $1 silver certificate from technically, well, it says 1935E. That's the series on it. But this was in a shipwreck. This was on the Andrea Doria that sank in 1956. And this particular note, what happened was Vaultbox did a series. Now, for those of you who don't know what Vaultbox is, I'll get into that a little bit later. I'll bring out the computer and show you the website. But Vaultbox essentially got a bunch of these notes graded and sent them out to PMG. PMG gave them specific types of grades. They can't grade them the same way because all the notes are damaged, but they came up with their own grading system. And then they would randomly put these in. They would make a bunch of boxes. Some of them had really good notes, some of them not so much. But that's what Vaultbox does. This particular note, like I said, I'm going to get into all the stuff with Vaultbox later. Before I do that, let's look at this particular note. Like I said, you're talking a 1935E. There's the series there. And one of the interesting things is, since we know that this is an authentic shipwreck note, we know that it's sat underwater for 25 years. And when you look at the serial numbers and a little bit on the seal there, you can see that there is a little bit of a blue tinge around there, like some of the ink started to break down. You can kind of see that here as well. I don't know how well it's coming up on the camera, but in person you can see that there is blue in the background here. I want to look on the back to see if you can see any of that stuff on the back bleeding through from a previous note. This particular one, not really. You can't see it. But there are a number of these notes where that's very clear. The reason I point that out is because you're going to find regular notes where you're going to say the serial number is all blurry. Well, yeah, that's because it probably sat in water or a puddle or whatever the case was. Something got spilt on it and that started to loosen up the ink. So since we know this one sat in the water, we know why those letters are blurry. Okay, so the Andrea Doria, the shipwreck itself. I'm going to put a link down below to my friend Dan from Polar Currency, because he did an incredible video on that shipwreck. But this is more about what Vaultbox had to say. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull out the computer and we're going to take a quick peek. All right, so I've got Vaultbox up on my computer here, and let's take a quick look at what we've got going on here. What Vaultbox does, it says, introducing Vaultbox, the new way for collectors to discover fun and interesting coins. And what Vaultbox does is they take a group of coins or a group of notes or a group of whatever. They send them off for grading, and then they will have them boxed up randomly so nobody knows what's inside. They're showing the highlights here. Let's go with how Vaultbox works. Let's check that out. And here is their little spiel. Vaultbox carefully selects coins from each series with special consideration for a coin's rarity, appearance, value, and historical significance. Once Vaultbox has acquired the coins, they send the coins to NGC, the world's preeminent coin grading service. Every coin in your Vaultbox is authenticated by NGC. Then each Vaultbox coin is graded using either the 70-point Sheldon scale, or in some cases are instead submitted through NGCX, a revolutionary new service that grades coins on a 10-point scale. Okay, once graded, coins are encapsulated to protect holders called slabs. They are separated into different value groups, common, uncommon, and rare. The boxes are packaged at NGC following the system to ensure that each box has a coin from each of the value groups. The system is designated so that there may be different types and or price points of coins within the groups, but no box will contain only the lowest valued coins. Okay, so what you're doing is you're buying random coins from Vaultbox, and what Vaultbox does is they also offer an instant offer. So whatever you get, you can then go onto Vaultbox's site and they will tell you what they will pay you flat out for that coin, or whatever the case is. So it's a really interesting way to do it. The thing is obviously there have to be a lot more undervalued coins than overvalued coins. That's how they're making money. Without discussing price too much, if the average price is $200 for a Vault box, one of the actual boxes that you're buying, if it's a $200 item, most of the stuff is probably going to be worth $100, and then there'll be the occasional item that's worth a lot more than that. So that's how they're making money. You are taking the chance. You can see here, if you would like to cash out your coin but do not want to go through the usual time and effort required to, Vaultbox unique instant offer feature. Okay, so then they have all kinds of different series. They're on series 9 right now, and here is Vaultbox Shipwrecked. And if I click on here is more info about the Andrea Doria. Once again, I'm going to click that link down below so that you can check out Polar Currency. They have a grading scale. Like I said, they have A through C. A is a note's condition, meaning that there is 90% or more of the note there. A note that's graded B would probably be somewhere between 75% and 90% of the note there, and a graded C note means it's less than 70% of the note there. Now, for the red core, those are the wins, I guess you'd call it. You can see there was a North Africa note, $1 North Africa note, that had the A grading. Total of 3 of them in there, and they'll pay you $8,000 if you find one of those. There was $1 Hawaii. It's a B grade. They'll offer $5,000 for that one note. There's a Hawaii C grade. They'll offer you $2,500 for that note. $1 North Africa in a C grade. There was 2 of those. They'll offer you $2,500 for that. And a $1 silver certificate, one of the funny backs. That's the 1934 series. You're talking $1,000 for the A graded notes. So those are great hunt notes. That's what you're looking for. But let's look at the distribution list. Vaultbox was selling these. You'd get one note for $199. And as we scroll through the list, the red, those are the key ones. Those are the really good ones. You can see, there's 3 of those, 2 of those, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 6, 7, 23 of those, and so on down the line. Here we got 230, 299, and there was some foreign notes as well. It's a $1,000 Italian lira note, graded A. There was one of those. So the total number of red labels was 575. The black labels, those are the misses, so to speak. And it tells you, that's what I'm holding on to right now. This one here, the 35 to 57 $1 certificates, graded C. There were 649 of those. And like I said, you can go down the list. There's $10 notes, $20 notes, $50 notes, Oh, those are traveler's checks, I should say. And more Italian notes down here. You can get an idea of the numbers. So in this series, there was 1,628 black labels compared to the 575 of the others. So your chances of getting a red note were 1 in 4, roughly. But that's how they're making money. Okay, they're charging $200 for a note that might be only worth $100. But you're doing it hoping to catch one of these good ones. So with all that being said, I can now look at this note and know that Vaultbox put it as a grade C, and I know how many of these there were. Once again, if I scroll down to the black labels, this was the most common right here. But I didn't buy the Vaultbox. That's the thing. I ended up, this was given to me by Ryan. So Ryan, once again, thank you so much. I understand what you were going for with these, and hopefully you got one of the good ones as well. But that's what's up with Vaultbox. It is a gamble, but it's a fun gamble. The thing is that with this particular Vaultbox, you were talking $199 to buy this. This was also their Vaultbox's first attempt at currency. And the thing with that is, I always hear coin collectors say they don't get into currency because of how expensive it is. Okay, well, let's see. Buy Series 9. Series 9 was coins. Okay. How much were the coins? $995. Is that what that says? Limit 3 per household. So if you wanted to buy one of the Vaultbox, you would have to pay $995 for that. What are some of the, do they list the prices for the other series, I wonder? Let's try this here. Let's see what the fun box is. Does that list a price for what they sold for? Distribution list. No, they're not saying the price. No, I'm not seeing a price for it. But you mean to tell me that Series 9 Vaultbox was $1,000 per pull, and coin collectors are telling me they don't collect paper money because of how expensive it is? I don't quite get that. If this wasn't a shipwreck note, by the way, I didn't tackle this. I did look up what a 1935E silver certificate sells for, and I've got paper money in the United States right here. And if we look, that would be right there on the very top one. $3 in VG8, 4, 10, 20, 13, 20, 40, and 38. So that's the price guide for what that note would go for if this wasn't shipwreck currency. But it is shipwreck currency, and that makes it so much cooler. All right, guys, if you learned anything new, go ahead and hit that like button. If you like what you see and you want to see more, please subscribe. Love reading all your comments. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.